Well, good day, viewers, and here we are at Noel's Garden Tractors and Firewood, and today is Monday, April 28th, and it is 6 degrees Celsius now, and what do we got here? 43 degrees Fahrenheit. A little windy today. We got a north wind, the worst wind, the coldest wind in the world, north one, 31 miles an hour gusts. So that would be 50 kilometers an hour in the metric system. So kind of breezy out today. So 6 degrees Celsius, we're supposed to get to 7. I don't know, I might make that. So tomorrow's not looking too bad. 15 and sunny. 16 on Wednesday. May 1st. Holy cats, time's going by quick. 10 degrees, mainly, or a mix of sun and clouds. So 11 and 13. So a little bit of rain by Saturday and Sunday, of course. It always has to rain on the weekend. Anyway, it's sort of a little bit of heat coming, maybe. But I'll be burning wood again this week. Anyway, I'll show you what it looks like outside. Nice, sunny, holy cats, look at that, eh? And it didn't look like that this morning. Cloudy and rain and wind and holy cats, it was nasty out this morning. But they did say it was going to be sunny by the afternoon, so there you go. Sometimes the weather guessers are sort of right. Sometimes. Maybe. Could be. Possibly. Alright, so today we're going to get back on to the Sears Craftsman tractor. And we're going to see if we can lube the rear end. Alright, we're going to get her jacked up here now. And we'll see what happens. Yeah. Alright, we got her all jacked up here. And I gotta find myself a chair, so I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so we're gonna take this back plate off here. Yeah, so we've got 1, 2, 8, 10 bolts to take out. Alright, viewers, we're back again. I made another mistake, of course, so I thought that I had taken that back plate off the tractor to get at the rear end to lubricate it, but once I get all them bolts out, that thing don't come out. So I don't know. Anyway, I found what I was looking for. If you can see that hole there in the aluminum case, I obviously drilled that from back here without taking the cover out of there. Alright, I kind of moved you around here and got you on a different spot so that I'm not moving in front of you all the time and blocking your view. And I have you zoomed in a bit. And I have my flashlight going here, so as I'm moving my head around, the flashlight is moving too. So anyway, there's the hole, and that what I did was, it's a 1/8 hole, and I drilled that into there, and I just put a little bit of grease on the bit or on the whatever there, and when I was drilling it, I just that helps bring out any of the aluminum cuttings back out so that they don't go into the rear end. And so 1/8 hole will allow you to put any kind of a grease or a spray gun of any kind, spray oil or spray grease or whatever you want to put in there. It makes no difference. Whoops, I banged into it here. Now look at that. So this is what you can put in. That's the spout off of this rust check can. So that goes right in there. Now it doesn't go in very far because the gear is right there. So when you're drilling it, you got to be careful not to go too far. You just go in till you figure that you've gotten through the aluminum. Like whatever kind of oil or spray grease or whatever you want to put in there, that's what you can put in, or that's what I would do. And now whether it's right or not or wrong, I don't know. The other thing you can do is use one of these oil cans like that, and you can just hold it right there like that and squeeze the oil right into it. And the other thing you can do, I'll have to go and get it. Like I say, I'll just use a small rubber O-ring. And push it up against the aluminum, and then hold the grease gun up tight against the O-ring, and you can squeeze grease. Whatever kind of grease you want to put in there, you can squeeze that in with your grease gun. Now I'll show you, and let's see if I can show you. Now right there, you can see those two O-rings that are stuck to the plastic here. Those are the ones that I use. So you put one of those on there, and you can squeeze grease right into that. So I would suggest maybe, this is all up to yourselves. Now, whether you want to do any of this or not, that's up to you guys. It's just something that I did, and it made quite a difference in some of the tractors that had transaxles like this. This is just a forward and reverse transaxle. Some of them have 5 speeds ahead, 1 reverse. It works well on them too. Any of these kind that are not hydrostatic, and it'll work on it. Because if you ever took one of those apart, the grease that's in there from the factory is as dry as can be, and no lubrication whatsoever is going on. Now the other, as I call it, the green thing, I did it, and it's just a forward and reverse transmission like this one. But it made it, holy cats, it made it so much easier to shift forward and reverse to having it lubed up. and I could tell, I can't remember how much I put in, but anyway, the grease and oil or whatever I put in was coming out the axle seals a little bit and coming out around the brake disc. So I knew I was getting it all through the transmission. That's the main goal. Now, if you don't like leaks, well, then that's up to yourself too. Now, I think better to have it lubed and working good and have the odd leak out of it, and then eventually it will stop because you don't put that much in. So what I'm going to do here is put some oil in there, I think, first, because if you put grease in first, then it may be a little more difficult to get the oil in. So I'm going to put some oil in. Now, any kind of oil, you could even use 10, or not 10, but 80-90 oil if you want. If you had something that you could deliver it with, something like that, to put it into the rear end. So I'd say any kind of oil is going to work. So we put this up here like that. Get her primed up, and they're primed now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 shots I put in. Now, I'll get the grease gun going here too. So all we do is get a little grease out of here. Put a little bit of grease on your finger. Or right directly on the O-ring. And then put it over the hole. Right there like that. Hopefully I got it centered. And then we'll push the grease gun nozzle in over it. Like that. I must be missing the hole a little bit, maybe. There we go, it's going there now. So there's 4 pumps I put in there. So I got about 3 in and 1 on my finger. Anyway, it don't matter how many you put in. You put 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever you want. And I put my O-ring back where I had it. There's a little bit of grease. And hold it on the plastic thing there so I know what's what. So you can just leave it like that because there's grease in the hole and no dirt will enter. Or you could take a piece of wood and make yourself a little plug and put it in there. Leave it, say, 1 inch long so you can grab it to pull it out when you want to do the next service. I just leave the grease in it, and when I come to it to redo it, then I put something in there to kind of, I take the 8th bit and kind of drill into it to pull the old grease and dirt out. Anyway, that's all I do with that, so it certainly makes a difference in how they operate. So that's it. She's all lubed up. And as you get driving, that stuff will move around, and the oil and the grease will mix up together, and it'll get splashed around, and everything will be lubricated. So I guess that's going to be it for this video on how to lubricate your transmission. A manual transmission. Like I say, don't do it to a hydro. Well, I got you on Zoom there. Sorry about that. It's bouncing around. Alright, so that's going to be it for that little job. Alright, so have a great day wherever you're at and whatever you're doing.